ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaste to everyone. We are continuing the discussion on the idea of Grihastha. Unfortunately, what happened, the amount of importance given to the sannyasa ashrama, which is supposed to be a graduation from Grihastha ashrama into vanaprastha to sannyasa. But somehow in this culture, given such an importance to sannyasa ashrama, they almost like condemn the Grihastha ashrama. Aspects of Grihastha have been condemned because Grihastha ashrama is the place where you have family together, you have house, you have wealth, everything is there. And as I said, this culture has given great importance to all those things. In fact, if we had not given importance to those things, we wouldn't have had this such an extraordinary, wonderful scientific development that was there in the form of Sankhya philosophy or Vaiseshika or the philosophies like in Nyaya Shastra and metallurgy Shastra. So like that, and then Vaidya Shastra, Vaidike Shastra. All these things have developed because that they cared for the Grihastha level. So therefore, it's an unfortunate thing to think that Grihastha is to be condemned. On the other hand, there's one more very important thing is Grihastha is supposed to be the platform for you to go towards the spirituality. Otherwise, there is no platform. So people think that I take sannyasa so that I get spirituality. But first of all, that before even graduating from the Grihastha, you don't go to sannyasa. But yes, there are few people here and there, once in a while, one in a million, as Krishna says, Mahan Manushyanam Sahasreshu, Paschit Yatasya. One person would like to go in that direction. Of such persons, then you can the uh, shortcut all these things and go to sannyasa, which Shankaracharya himself has done. But what Shankaracharya has done, he also recommended that importance of the Grihastha. So he gave so much support to the Grihastha. And there's one more aspect is that all said and done about Dvaita, Advaita, Visaya philosophies and all those things. But anybody living in this world, all right, they might discuss, they might argue Dvaita right, Advaita right, and all that. When it comes to the real life in the world, they need to have all these supports. They have to have food, they have to have a house, and the human relationship is very important. And even to argue that I'm right, you are wrong, to say that two people are necessary. So, in what way can you condemn all these things? So, Grihastha seem to be an extraordinary, wonderful platform for various things. That's the reason why one enters into the Grihastha. That's what is the idea of when getting married. Marriage is the wonderful platform where one enters into Grihastha. You recollect the pictures of Sita Ramabhyam Namaha, Shachi Purandarabhyam Namaha, all these extraordinary people, that is Vasishtha Arundhati. We remember all those things because that they gave us the guidelines in this particular direction. So this is very important to have this Grihastha for being able to do that. You manifest these values that you have learned. There's one more thing. When we did the Brahmacharya Ashrama, we said when the person comes out of the teacher, that is Gurukul, that is what is Snatakotsava mantra or the graduation ceremony in the present language. There are mantras which are given, which are supposed to be worth taking actually. That means to say, as long as that you are in the Gurukul, a lot of things you follow because Gurukul rules make you to follow. But the moment when you come out of Gurukul, that you are free in the world and you are entering into the big world in front of you. So naturally, there are certain things that you have to self-imposed conditions restrictions that you would have. So these self-imposed restrictions are the ones that is supposed to be the oath taking in the case of graduation ceremony. The same thing about the you see anywhere. Like for example, somebody is elected by the people in the parliament. So that means he's a member of parliament or he's a minister there. But now that he has freedom, he has everything in his hand. But then he should be uh, self-disciplined by certain votes. And the oath is, that's what he says that I will follow the constitution, I will uphold the importance of constitution, I see that the secrets I will not reveal, etc. All those things for the national interest. Because everything is in your hand. So you are supposed to take care of it. Even doctors have oath. Doctors have oath of. So therefore, essentially, that's what is the idea of, this Sangol, Dharma Danda. Dharma Danda is something like I've taken an oath, so this is something which is my dharma. In fact, every sannyas ashram also has this Dharma Danda. If you have seen Shankaracharya, they will have that stick and then there's something like that symbol on top of it. So this is supposed to be Dharma Danda. And the same Dharma Danda is supposed to have the kings as the ruler. So that's what is symbol. He keeps it by his side so that he's always guided by that symbol. If I'm in the parliament or I may be minister in the parliament, I may be prime minister. But for me, that symbol is the one which guides me. I cannot go beyond that. It's like the oath that we take. That's what in the Snathakotsava mantra we say that the student says that Shiksha, I mean, when he comes out of that, that is Veda Manu Chacharyante Vasan Manushasti, after all those things, Satyam Vada, Dharmam Jara, Swadhyaya Adhyatma Pramadataha, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo, all these things. It means to say that the teacher is telling the student that you follow these things. And where to follow? I have to follow Varam and Grasta. If Grasthashram are not there, what is the use of taking all these things? And if I did not give importance to Grihastha then why should I follow these things? I do not tell the truth. I do not follow the dharmic way. And I don't want to care for my parents. I don't want to care for guests. So all these things happen because that I have respect for the Grihastha. In fact, people say that, yeah, your parents are nice. That's why you take care of your parents, but not my parents. No, what we are taking is that motherhood is important. Fatherhood is important. It's not the question of whose mother, whose father. So these are all the things which are given to us, but where to follow, when to follow, it is supposed to be followed in the Grihastha. So if Grihastha is not there, then we wouldn't have been all these ideas that are given in the form of Snataka mantras that we are supposed to follow the injunctions, it has no meaning at all. It has no purpose. So therefore, the Grihastha is important to do that. Second thing is that we have importance of Grihastha is the one. Grihastha establishes the importance of our Puranas. See, the whole idea of Puranas are to see that the characters are given, which it is not the character which is important or the relationship that was there. I mean, history and geography, don't look at all those things. They transcend all these things. But then what is important is that the emotion or the bhavana that they follow, that's what is important. And Grihastha provides us an opportunity to give, when to give provision for this bhavana. And I'm in the class, I'll call you later. So essentially, the whole idea is that we must have an opportunity where we practice this thing. In fact, look at the way that in this culture that we have so many stories of Puranas and all those things. Importance of all these Puranas are that it has got so many varieties of relationship and the love connection on that relationship. I was so surprised. The guy was trying to search for where is the idea of love that comes in the Western knowledge, in the Google, etc., etc. They have, my shocking that they have only one idea of love, that's a romantic love. There's no other thing. I'm surprised. A child looks at your face and then smiles and jumps onto you out of love. What is the romance in that child? What an unfortunate thing it is that how they have reduced the whole concept of love into that level. This is what why they think that emotion is something which destroys everybody. Whereas, oh, set up a professional.
So, I request everyone to mute yourself, please.
So, as a, in our culture, we have so many aspects of all this love.
It's like Grahasthashram becomes like a ground for your practice.
Ground for the practice of various varieties of this love aspect of it. Brothers' love for sisters, sisters' love for brother, and parents' love for children, children's love for parents. There are so many varieties. In fact, your friend is a friend. Where is the question of having any other feeling in that? When all the other feelings we have killed it, then we think that any person, two persons coming together, they look at with suspicious that this is a romantic love. What an unfortunate way of curtailing the human feeling that you have, such an extraordinary, wonderful feeling. In this culture, we have all those things. And we have respected for that. Look at the simple thing that we have given importance for that in the Grahastha Ashrama is that we created one festival for that called as the Raksha Bandhan. That means you just tie the Raksha for a girl. And then that means actually the girl feels that she's under protection from you. She can call for you any problem that is there. It's both binding on the person on the situation of boy and also the girl. They're immediately bound by that. Where this kind of feeling is not there, then two people meeting with together immediately is mistaken to be a romantic love. And that is the reason why that they are afraid of these emotions. Emotions are dangerous. Emotions lead you in a wrong path. So that's the reason why what happened in this various other in our case of we have all these Puranas to see that various kinds of relation, various ideas are presented in the way of life, so that bring that into your day-to-day life. Whether it is, don't even worry about whether Ganesha was there or Kartikeya was there, but most important thing is look at the brotherly relationship there. Whether Rama had a brother like Lakshmana and all that, it's historians and the Puranic interest and all those things. Our interest is the way that how Rama connected with Lakshmana, how Bharata connected with Rama. This is what is important relationship. Whatever the relationship that you see, if you can bring about 10% of it in your day-to-day life, does it not change the whole life itself? They are not, they are supposed to guide us. So these characters are there essentially to guide us in that direction in all the Puranas. Don't worry about what story is, when it happened, or whether it happened this way or not. In fact, it transcends the time and place. And we have seen several times how it transcended the time. Like, for example, Krishna's life was there. Krishna and Radha, they were there at that point of time and 5,000 years ago. But whereas Meera was there 150, 200 years back. But Meera felt Krishna was there right her side, by her side. It was such a beautiful way poets described about it. The Meera came into the life of Krishna. Radha was jealous of it. You see, poetic way of looking at it. If you start looking at historical way, saying that, oh, Radha was there and jealous, this Meera was now, so how can she be jealous? Please don't ask these questions because feel the sweetness of this feeling that is there. This is what is the bhava that we have. And the bhava concept is not there in the any part of the world. We only have that concept of bhava. That's the reason why, because this bhava concept is there, we have such a strong bondage in the family and such a strong unit that we set up in the society, because society is, it is not just only two things. It is like a beautiful knit kind of a strain. You see, you take the threads as they exist, they are weak. Whereas the same threads that you put nice, wonderful way weave into a cloth, the cloth has all the strength. That's a simple idea. That here, that's why I said that 1 plus is not 1, 1 plus 1 is 11. So that means they come together to strengthen each other. Can we feel that in Grihastha is supposed to be that the two individuals are coming together to strengthen the whole thing? It's not two individuals, basically, two families are coming together to strengthen. It's not the question of that you think like me, therefore you exist. No, it's in harmony. The harmony brings about a strength. You do your way, I do my way, because nature works in harmony. Look at the simple harmony that you can look at in the nature, that a bitter seed inside and the wonderful fruit in an orange, born together, live together, grow to the fullness together. Seed will not disturb the fruit, fruit will not disturb the seed. Why orange fruit? Look at a magnet. The moment that you have magnet, there is North Pole and South Pole together. And we all know that North Pole and South Pole together. But then how we unfortunately look at the whole thing is, oh, they are poles apart. And when they are poles apart, means they are together very nice. The idea is that they are together very nice. But then they use it in a different context, different way, in an opposite way. Whenever somebody discouraging way. Oh, you cannot bring them together. I said, you cannot bring them together. You take a magnet, both the poles are together, poles apart. But you cut the magnet to pieces, again, North Pole, South Pole live together. And in human being, it is like that. If you look at human being, so much like that. Like, for example, two girls, they're fighting all the time. And then the mother said, look, I'm sick of your fighting. So at least for 1 week, I will have peace of mind. So I'll send one of the girls to the children camp in Prashanti. Other girl is at home. And the girl went to children camp. The mother is worried whether she'll be adjusting there, what will happen to them, what will happen to her, she'll be missing house and all that. But she was happy there. But the girl at home, she was feeling homesick, that girl is not there, my sister is not there. I mean, how long it will take? I said, look, you are fighting with her. Yeah, I need somebody to fight also. See, we only see the surface, but we don't see the behind it. So this harmony is something which is a family, a grasta will set up all these things. Grasta is one. This is one aspect of it. Another very important aspect which I want to tell is that, when the marriage takes place, first thing is that they say in the first mantras, they show you Arundhati uh, nakshatra and Vasishta, and apart from the Sita Ramabhyam Namaha, they say that. The idea is not just Sita and Rama. Idea is, have you looked at the characters of Rama and Sita? See, the characters are important because of which Rama and Sita, not because he was born in Ayodhya, not because he was born in Treta Yuga is important, but the character that he lived is important. Can I at least have a 10% of the character that he lived? For having been blessed by the idea that, look, my marriage is supposed to be a Rama. Can I marry? Can I have that kind of a value? Can I look into Rama's history? In fact, that is what the first thing when Narada goes to Valmiki, Valmiki says to Narada, don't talk to me about all these gods and goddesses. I'm sick of listening to them. You always go there and talk about that. Tell me about a common man. Konvas means Samprate Loke, but common man means not anybody who has got Gunavan, Kirtivan, Dharmajnasya, Kritagnyasya, that is the kind of a person. Then he says about Rama. That means he talks about Rama qualities. And then he gives the whole series of qualities of Rama. So for having been blessed in the marriage uh, ceremony, that Sitaramabhya Namah, can I not emulate at least some percentage of Rama's characters in my life? Even the priest will not tell us. Unfortunately, what happens is, priest who says that and he blesses you that Sitaram, he says, now 15 days you read the book of Ramayana, book of Sita, book of this thing, get the idea, and then see that you live those things in your day to day. At least bring something. It's for you to sadhana. And where do we do that sadhana? If it says that you have to emulate these qualities, where? It's in the grasta only. Like, for example, the same father said, tomorrow you'll be coronated. And the same father invited him and says that, no, you go to the forest. And Rama says, okay, I go to the forest. Wow. See, that means even Kaikeyi was surprised. Why? You accepted it. You have no objection to it. Rama said, when father said you'll be coronated, when I accepted, and father said you go to the forest, same father said it. Why should I not accept it? It's the same father's words. See, you have no argument against Rama's point. If I have to take that kind of a view, that means I can do it only the Grasthashrama. So Grasthashrama is such a wonderful platform where we establish these qualities that are there given in the form of the blessings that are given. This is what in Mahabharata also, that it says that blessings are given to actualize. Just because I bless does not mean that you pass the exam. People come and seek your blessing for the exam. Yes, you passed the exam. I blessed. Does not mean blessing will work. My blessing is only an idea saying that you are capable of passing the exam provided you prepare for that. Without preparing, you can't pass for the exam. I can't bless somebody who has not even studied anything, who don't know anything. How can I bless? Or somebody is studying something in poetry or something like that. I said, you become an engineer, I bless you. My blessing will not make you engineer. You have to do the work of engineering. That's the only thing that can bless you, that can help you. So essentially, blessing is what you are capable of doing it. That's what you see. In fact, that's what in the Upanishad it says that the Upanishad sage blesses the people, saying that Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. That means you're capable of being happy. Now you work towards that. It's not that I said Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, so everybody will be happy. In spite of the fact I bless, why people are not happy? That's
people also say I keep chanting, but no.
Yeah, I keep chanting that. So I'll be no. You're capable of rising to that level. Sarve santu niramayaha. See, that's what is the blessing that teacher, the Rishi said. So essentially, these are the things which are way the Grihastha is the platform for us to do all these practices. Another very important aspect of Grihastha is that, see, these are the great texts like Bhagavad Gita is one of the extraordinary, wonderful texts, and there's other texts are also there. And these texts have given us certain guidelines in the way that you live. And that is given in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, essentially second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Be in the state of prajna and then do the activity, sthita prajna. Arjuna immediately gets a doubt and he asks Krishna, what do you mean by sthita prajna? Sthita prajna se ka bhasha, samadhi tasya keshava, sthitadihi kim prabhaseta, kamasita vrijjatakam. Like that he asked this question. Then the next sutras that Arjuna, Krishna gives a whole lot of description of sthita prajna. And while he has given the, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata, look at the question that he asked, the question about sthita prajna, based on in the day-to-day life incident. It is not that Siddhartha is somebody who is esoteric way, somebody walks on the water, somebody who flies in the air, or somebody who sees his chakras are opened. It's not that. Krishna never answered that. Kim asita, kim rajeta, kim prabhaseta. That means to say, when he is by himself, what is he like? Asita. Kim prabhaseta, what he shines by. Kim rajeta, that means you ask him something, request something, what is the response that he gives? He gives. These are the three things. And you look at your life is nothing but these three aspects of it. Either you do prompted by yourself, or you just sit quiet, whatever that you are. And second thing is that whatever the creativity that comes out of you. These are three things. Apart from that, these three things, nobody's life has no fourth activity. That's what Krishna asked. And the answer that Arjuna asked, answer that Krishna gives is very clear. Pradihati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata atmanyeva atmaneva. That one simple sentence is such an important sentence for the whole Grihasthashrama itself. Atmanyeva Atmanatishta. He is satisfied, contented within himself. So can we be content within myself? Being in the Grihastha? Grihasthashrama is there to practice that. In spite of the fact that I continuously produce, I continuously work in the job, work in this, work in that. With all those things, behind all these things, I must have my contentment. That's what it says. Atmanyeva Atmanatashta Sthita Prajnastadochyate. Dukkeshu Anudvignamanaha Sukheshu Vigataspruha Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Sthitadihi Muniruchyate. A very simple, very beautiful idea that Krishna gives. One thing is that dukkha and sukha, that they keep coming and going. It's not that somebody has taken his spirituality. He will not have any dukkha. He will only have all the time sukha. Forget about it. Dukkha also will be there, sukha is also there. But what is Sripagna's response when he is in dukkha or when he is in sukha? That's what you need to understand that. Dukkeshu Anudvigrama. He doesn't get upset. He doesn't get disturbed by the dukkha. Sukheshu Vigata Spruha. Many times what happens, a little sukha comes, people go overboard. They forget themselves. But he does not happen like that for a Sthita Prajna.
Both the sides we forget ourselves.
Both the sides. We forget, both we forget ourselves. Now, what happens is that such a person, he maintains a balance in either cases. A Sthita Prajna maintain the balance means actually, what is that I need to do it in my lifetime, as a grihastha. That means these situations keep coming. Can I get back to the balanced state as early as possible? Because that's supposed to be the goal. So where can I work on that? It's only the grihastha. Like suddenly some child dies. Wow, so dear, so clear, everything is all right. One small little mistake of doctor or whatever it is, child is not there. It's like burning. In fact, there's one lady's case that was there. She's so fond of a child, and husband's the reason for husband also, because the child cries, the husband cannot take it. He will yell at her. So she has to take care of the case such a way, child should not cry. And this girl would get up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock or so, prepare the food, and breakfast, everything keep ready. And by the 4 o'clock, she would sit by the side of the child. So the moment child gets up, immediately she gives him milk or something like that. She will not say, oh, no cry, because husband will get disturbed. This she did for about 6 months or 1 year, so much that she was on the edge, the child cries, that she was only hearing child cry. Became like a panic situation and all kinds of problem. And as usual, she went to the mental hospital. They try to give you CT shock. Shock makes her a zombie. She is non-functional. So all kinds of things were there. Then with the Vedanta, with the philosophy and all those things, now slowly she gained confidence in herself. She started handling the things without getting disturbed. She would sleep comfortably, wake up, and then see that the child is taken there. All those things were okay, all right. And it took almost like 3-4 years for her to become stabilized. After 4 years, one day, her parents' house is there in a village near Bangalore. And usually that Friday, her father will come, or somebody will come, take the boy to the village and their car. And then this mother, she finishes her work in the office. And then Friday, she goes there, spends 2 days with the parents and the child. It's a common thing. There's nothing very extraordinary about it. And the child, she sent in the morning and she went to the office. And then at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock or so, 1, 2 o'clock, she came back from the office because that evening that she was supposed to go. Suddenly she found that her boy was brought dead in the cart. I got to see, heartbroken. What happened? Simple thing. He was playing on the cart. The cart was there, and thought he was just playing on the cart. Suddenly, from the cart, he fell down. And probably fell down suddenly on his neck or something like that. Immediately, he's left his body. 7-year-old body dying. You just imagine. And I was not there. I was in Germany. Then Didi, she came to know. Said that this happened. Immediately, Didi called me. First question I asked her, how is that lady? She said, lady is okay, sad, but she's composed. But she wanted to see. I came back. She said this story, this like that. But what he added is that probably I came to you when child cries, I would become panic. Today child died. I'm sad, but not disturbed. Dukeshu anudvigramanaha. So can we achieve that kind of a state where not being disturbed by dukkha or sukha?
You can feel sad, but you don't get into the.
Yes. Don't
Sometimes
lose
many
your
people say
control.
don't feel sad only. That is
Ah,
what I
no,
can't.
right. You have to actually, people don't. The question of somebody saying that don't feel sad is wrong. Yeah, I can tell this table, please don't feel sad. There's no life in that. Human being is life. Your dog will feel sad. Forget about human being.
Important point.
Right.
We hear people
Feel sad. Cry. I say that even cry is a wonderful expression of your sadness. But only thing is that it should not make you lose your balance. That's the only thing. Dukkeshu anudhyagramana. All these things went to practice. Grihasthashrama should practice. So Krishna gives us the whole of 18 shlokas in the second chapter, Sita Prakshnas, are to see that we need to take care of. And there he gives a very beautiful picture of what are the ideas. He says that how it develops. Dhyayato Vishan Pumsa, Sangasteshu Pujayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kam. All these things come under that. Now, where can you see this thing? Grihasthashrama. Because Grihasthashrama gives such a variety of opportunities where this can manifest. Right? Brothers are there, sisters are there, parents-in-law are there. Guest comes to the house. Sometimes guests come to the house, eat your head, pulp. But yes, you're a grasta. All these things to be observed. So such an extraordinary piece of sadhana in the grasta. There is no sadhana greater than the grasta. A beautiful thing. This on one side. On the other side, same Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, Krishna brings about extraordinary, wonderful qualities of where who is supposed to be a bhavana, love. Because 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga. Last 8 sutras that are there, these are supposed to be, they are called as the Amrita Ashtakam, 8 different shlokas. And these 8 different shlokas, when you look at it, how beautifully Krishna gives is that, our Bhagavan he gives is that Sachame Priyaha. And there also he says like that. Very clearly, he is Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karunayevacha Nirmamo Nirahankara Samadukka Sukakshami Santushtaha Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dridhanishyaha Bhaktivan Me Sache Priya. Like that he gives. Now, what else do you want other than the assurance that Krishna gives? I love such people. Very beautiful. I love Sachame Priya. I love such people. The moment I think like that, like the children know, if I do like this, then mother will love me. Oh, so the child does that. So that's in that story also in that earlier. The child died, and then later on, thereafter another child. And that child, see, this child when he was mother was sick, somehow or the other wanted to make the mother happy. uh, positive response. So like that, I taught something to that little child. And this second child, then she adopted a child, and then this fellow is now 7 year old. And I said, I want to see that. No, he's gone to the school, he will come back. Then I said, can I see his picture? She saw the picture. I said, it's I don't want to see that your earlier child picture, but I want to see this child. He said, no, is this child. He looks so much like him. Wow. Then I said, he looks so much like him. Said, not only like him, he also does the things like him. Now I'm more curious. So let me wait till the child comes back from the school. Comes back from the school, I was sitting there with that lady. Then this boy comes with a flower in the garden, some little flower, bunch of flowers. I said, Mom, I was coming here. The flower speaks to me saying that your mom wants you. Can you, he wants me. So can you take me to your mom? So she asked me, therefore I brought these flowers. This is what the dialogue I taught to that child. This child follows that same dialogue. You see, but a beautiful idea, that is the feeling of love. Bhakti marme such a priyaha. So if I do this, God will love me. What are the things that God will love me? Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Yes, after all, everything is nothing but God creation. How can I have dvesha, something which is God created? Easily understandable. So this way, when can we practice these things? When can we bring them into the data, into the practice consciously in the Grihastha. So Grihastha is a platform where we can manifest all these things that are there in the Puranas, and also in the Shastras, that you said, you take Bhagavad Gita, you take anything for that matter. Grihastha is a platform where we can manifest this. Now, in order to see that these Puranas, these gods, enliven, they become lively. That's the reason why they have created so many rituals, so many pujas. Suddenly one day he says that this is what is Ganesha Puja. Why? Because Ganesha is born on this day. And they say that Rama is born, so that Rama's Puja. And he was born in Ayodhya somewhere at that time, 6th century. I mean, long back. No, no, forget about it. He's always there, ever existing. So we do all those things to remember those characters. So therefore, Puranas are important for the sake of these rituals that we do it. Variety of rituals that are there. So, and this is one aspect of it. I said another thing that is there earlier in the Brahmacharya Ashrama. Brahmacharya Ashrama itself based on your guna and then the karma in the society that is there. You are disciplined in that particular karma. A Brahmanas discipline something, Kshatriyas discipline something. So you are disciplined there. That means you are prepared all these things for the sake of Grihastha. So you have to manifest those things, Grihastha. It's a rich ashrama where you create all these things. So you become highly productive in terms of Brahmanical way. That means to say scriptures, understanding that and interpreting and all that. And second,
Sorry, you are muted.
Sir, we are unable to hear you.
You are muted, Prabhaji.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Unmuted. In you see, the way that I look at my own observation about these things is that it's already 6 o'clock. You're supposed to stop it.
No, these are 10
sorry.
minutes.
Okay. The whole concept I was thinking, where the whole problem has come up is that when the whole world is looking at, there's not one basis for the creation. Like, for example, matter is a separate basis, energy is separate basis, energy is independent, matter is independent. Similarly, like that, good is independent, bad is independent. That's why they had two different origins for that. God has given the good, and then demon has given that. Similarly, like that, solids have come from matter has come from something, and energy comes from different thing. But science slowly came to a point that both of them are same. Because that they've gone into inquiry into deeper and deeper, then you see that matter itself is energy, energy itself is matter. That's what Einstein has given that. So that shows that Dvaita was a concept always in the world, and it's accepted the way that creation is there. So at that point of time, and which is what is visible, at that point of time, Dvaita was something which was really visible in the society outside, everywhere. The same kind of Dvaita aspect is taken in the form of human being also. They said that God is separate, you are separate. And you need to go to the God, basically, that you seek his favors, you seek his blessings. That's what is the whole concept of bhakti in the beginning. Saying that you pray to the God to see that God will save you. All the mantras are also like that. So that, you give me water, you pray to the God. You pray to the rain god to give you rain. You pray to this god and give this. So these are all minor gods and the major gods. So like that, but God is separated from the man. This is what is the Dvaita philosophy. Everywhere. At that point of time, that means that ultimately creation has two different origins. Now, how that two origins have come, which is bigger or which is smaller, and if it is something is more prominent than the other, it will eliminate the other. Like, for example, good is there to eliminate the bad. But then, however much that we try, bad sustains, means bad is more than good. That's why bad sustains. So, all these arguments are going on in the idea, saying that no, always good is more than the bad. If good is more than the bad, then why it did not eliminate bad? But you cannot eliminate it, because when you come to a smaller, into minor levels of the bad, telling a lie is a bad, telling the truth is good. Then you can't stop. And then truth exists because of the lie itself. So we have such stories to explain that both these things exist. Now, the moment that you say both these exist initially, then there must be one origin from which both these things have come. All these intellectual discussions were predominant everywhere, in Eastern, Western, everywhere it was like that. When this is happening, there were some people, by their own experience, they said there's no difference between man and God. I am that God. Aham Brahmasmi. It's an experience. And he must have also experienced this whole thing is nothing but divinity itself. Ishavasyamyadam Sam. It's somebody's experience. And they have given their experience. They said that's a mystic experience. All right, you call it a mystic experience, but it is a human experience. Now they started giving the whole philosophy behind the human experience, saying that Advaita philosophy. There is no duality. When they said that Advaita philosophy, they want to strengthen that Advaita philosophy. That's why they have condemned the Dvaita philosophy. Dvaita is wrong, Advaita is right. Somebody wanted to patch up these two things. I said, no. Both these things part of the same experience that we have. That's why when it is special, then you have an Advaita feeling. Otherwise, it is Dvaita. In transaction, it is Dvaita. So, Visishta Dvaita. That's what. But then they put him also another platform saying that these three different philosophies are there. Then fourth fellow has never ventured saying, because if I give any idea, then I will also be another platform is given. So let's not worry about it. The fight is going on. How uh, the arguments go on that as if that they are trying to establish themselves by logic their superiority. And they say that, yeah, I conquered, I proved the Advaita philosophy, challenged the Advaita philosophy. I feel, a spiritual person doesn't challenge anything. Everything is nothing but the same. When I say Advaita, that means the same divinity from which we all came. Where is the question of I prove somebody not right, I am right? This kind. Particularly people like Shankara fighting to do that. I had reservations about that. Is there a way that I can see? And if you take it that way, then you see that Advaita, Advaita, all these things, it's not for the sake of argument, it's for the sake of life, reality. And you see that in the world, in this culture anywhere, that people might on the platform discuss vehemently about Dvaita, Advaita, etc., all those things. But when it comes to the house, there is a God there, and then you do the prayer, you use all the mantras and all those things. That means to say, Dvaita is a reality. Advaita is a philosophy, and Dvaita is a reality in the house that you do it. And the children, you want respect the parents. Is it not Dvaita? So therefore, essentially, that a Grahastha is not bothered about Dvaita, Advaita, Visishta, Advaita. None of these things, not even the acharyas that are important. Importance is that, is there a way that I can feel about it? Now, this God concept is something which is very useful for us, particularly in the Grahastha. Why? Because in the life, every step that we take is a step into unknown. Absolutely unknown. Tomorrow, what is going to happen, we really do not know. Exam, what is the way that I perform, I do not know. However much that you prepare, however much that you train yourself, but in spite of it, the doubt will be there in the mind whether I'll be able to do good or not. However much I prepare for my talk, I still have a doubt saying that when I really go onto the stage, will I be able to express all these ideas or not? This doubt will be there. So that means a step into unknown. I go to the best surgeon to do the surgery, but I still have a doubt whether the surgery will be uh, successful or not. See, all these things shows that there's a huge area of uncertainty we are stepping into. And the burden is not in anything else. However much the surgeon is trained, how much you prepare for the exam, whatever that you might do it, the burden is on your psychology. You want to unburden yourself from that. You want to put this load on somebody else, saying that I can take rest. And this facility is there in Grihastha. That's the reason why every house has a God, every house some God that you believe. You say, God, you take care of it. And for various activities, we have various gods. It doesn't matter how many gods that you have. You're driving a vehicle, that you have Anjaneya is there to take care of you. Or you're going for an exam, Ganesha is there to make you to write an exam. You go for the surgery, Dhanvantari is there to take care of it. So we have got to see that you unburden yourself on that. It's not important whether God is there or not, God will take care of it. None of these questions. For Grihastha, what's important? I can just put a load. And this is what is a surrender to the God. And we have the aspect of surrender within us. We all have the aspect of surrender, provided that you are convinced that He takes care of it. You have a surrender. Don't we have that in the normal day-to-day life and Grihastha life? Like, for example, a collector office will do something, or a district office can do something like this. Don't you go there and, pray to him saying, please, my application is there, it is there. Why don't you look at it, take care of it and all that? You surrender in front of it. You surrender. Very easy. Aspect of surrender is there. and we surrender for the sake of some benefit or the other. But what I'm saying is that surrender not for the benefit, surrender for unburdening your load. Things will happen, whatever it happens, but you unburden your load and then be peaceful. That is what is the purpose of Grihasthashrama, unburden oneself. So that the child is there, I don't know what will happen to the child. I unburden that uncertainty on the teacher. The teacher will guide him properly. Teacher will take care of him properly. In fact, when the child is born in the first place, I don't know what the child is going to be like. So I call one Jyotisha. And I unburden myself on that Jyotisha. It happened when Buddha was born. Gautam Buddha was born. Shuddhodana called the four different Jyotishas and then asked them. And then there's one young Jyotisha. His name is forgot his name. So the other Jyotisha said that, well, wonderful signs are there. Naturally, they have to say that because he's king's son, emperor's son. So wonderful signs are there, and the signs are so great, he may become a great king. A great king. The whole world he rules. But there's a possibility that he might also become a mendicant. They're totally opposite on the other side. They all said it. Kodanna was the last one. And then he called Kodanna, young fellow. He said, what is it? All these people, they're hesitant to say, your son is going to become a mendicant, a sannyasi. They hesitate because they are expecting some favors from the king. I don't expect any favors. Kodanna says that he will become a, and he became a Buddha. Six not. But the father must not have been happy when Buddha became Buddha, when Shuddhodana said Siddhartha became a Gautam Buddha. But today look at the way that where Buddha stands. One of the 10 avatars is Buddha. That level he is. So therefore, we really do not know what about, don't guide by any local things. Okay. So this surrender is something aspect that we do. We have that aspect of surrender within us. And just aspect is level is something where you surrender. But surrender for only very important aspect is it necessary to believe in God? Actually, it is not necessary. It's not a question of God is an individual or somebody that is there. Idea is that some higher forces guide us. Some forces beyond me are going to decide. In fact, somebody has a cancer, some forces beyond me has given the cancer. Otherwise, people say that I followed the right kind of life, this, that, and all this. Still, I suffered cancer. That means some other forces that are working, and that forces that you see, it is not the God that's important, but the aspect of surrender is that's important. You unburden yourself because the burden that you carry is something which has no solution. What is the exam paper going to be? Whether I'll do the exam paper right or wrong, how can you say that? So it doesn't depend upon you. So therefore, essentially, any amount of inquiry into that area will not give you solution. That's the reason why we say we require some faith, trust. And the trust is something which is very important. Faith is important. And more than faith and trust, the next higher level is what is called Shraddha. With Shraddha, we go to the doctor, we go to the particular person because we heard that somebody needs a surgery, somebody needs some good doctor. So you see the person having some problem. So I'm looking for a good doctor. Said, yes, in the town that we have very good doctor. Why don't you take him? So he goes to Mullah Nasruddin, the good doctor. Said, what is that? I went to other doctors and then they said that the patient is suffering from typhoid and we're treating for typhoid, but he died of pneumonia. So like that it happened. Then Mullah said, don't worry about it. If I treat a patient for typhoid, he will die of typhoid only. There's no have faith in me, trust in me. So this is what is trust actually. So we go by the trust that we pay. Look at how much people unburden. Imagine that there are so many exams and people write, And I came across one medical scholar student, studied everything, intelligent, everything is there. But the anxiety was so strong, she could not move her pen on the paper in the exam hall. Just kept the paper, pen on the paper, and she cried and came out. Now she has become a doctor. See, that is because that you have a trust about that. That's why we have the God. It's not the God that's important. God concept is important. The concept, you can have any concept. Wonderful. So it's not a question of gods in this culture, it's God concept that you have important. We'll continue the discussion about Grasthashrama as we proceed. So many aspects that are there in the Grasthashrama, we'll talk about it. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Any questions? Anyone wants to?
Yeah,
unmute?
can unmute and ask the questions.
Say about surrender. Surrender also comes between husband and wife also, right? You always say that.
Absolutely. You see, surrender now. Put this question once again next week because it requires a lot of elaboration, a lot of understanding about that. And surrender is an extraordinary, wonderful practice. It is not the way that we understand that subserving. Surrender is a very important concept that is there.
The important thing in discussion is knowledge transfer to the next. Not actually shastras or anything like that. Even simple things like how to deal with people around you, how to relationship between the husband and wife, seeing the in-laws, the husband and wife learn something. See, then their children learn something. That passing on behavior.
You see, people do not know that these are all important things in their life. See, what happened in their life is that you are earning money, you are making this property, or your freedom, independence. Somehow all these things have taken the front idea rather than following the values of life, following other things. And not only that, it almost like came to a point that if you follow the values, you will be an unfit in the society. Look at the successful people. Successful people are moneyed people. Success people are the people who are gundas. They got all these people. See, the image of successful people is like that. You won the cricket match, successful person. You did sports in cricket match. Is that the value that we are looking at? We have only very temporary local uh, sparks that is there as shining rather than the information that gives the life support, life journey values. That is not there. That's the reason why we require this particular knowledge. Earlier, at least that the grandparents used to pass it on, these ideas to the children, and later on it's gone. But now these days, that's also isolated. Grandparents are never there with them. So that's the reason why I've taken this idea of graduate from the Grasthashrama to Vanaprastha. So that means to say there are duties in Grasthashrama, then you get into Vanaprastha. That's a higher level. And that has the duties, that has the responsibilities, that you take care of it. That way, basically, this culture will continue. Okay, I think we'll close the session and we'll come back next week. Thank you.
Thank you.